Hey guys, this is IntroducingEmy and we're back with another Redline Tuesday, this time from lunarepsilon.tumblr.com, and this is the drawing they sent me. Their name is also Emily, which I thought was cool because my name's Emmy. Well, my real name's Emily, but nobody calls me that. So, anyway, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is just sort of see where his head is, like the skull. Another thing I'm going to do is lighten this a little more, and I hope you guys can still see this. Also, you should be able to see my navigator and my layers. I do that every now and then just for your benefit. So. Okay, one quick thing. This more or less has to do with the skull anatomy of your guy. The ears probably wouldn't be this high up on the head. They would actually, if you think about it, the human ear would be right there. So I think his ears would be lower. And that's not to say that you maybe couldn't have the flesh of the ear, like the, I'm trying to think what you would call it, like the backside of the ear, extend higher up, but the actual hole that goes into the ear canal would be right there. I'm trying to think how I could do this. I'm gonna move his face down eventually, but I think I'll wait and like go over like the anatomy on a whole, like for the whole body, and then come back to it. Okay. To me, his head still looks a little flat in the back, so I am going to extend it out further. Okay. So here is our 3-segmented torso. And right here is where the arm would, where the socket for the arm in the foreground here would be for. So as you can see right now, if I was to finish it, it would end like using this measurement, like from here to the elbow, and then reflecting it up here. The arm currently would end about there. It actually needs to end right about here. So I'm actually just going, I'm actually going to make this drawing just a teeny smaller. Let's take it down to 8 inches. Let's see how that, I know it feels kind of like too big. It feels a little wiry for me for some reason. I work really big normally, but if it's just, if I'm like too far away and it just feels like I'm drawing really small. So there's sort of like a Goldilocks zone for where I like to be on my Redline Tuesdays for drawing. Alright, so there's a nice little arm. And a really easy thing to remember about the arm is that both segments of the arm, so the upper arm and the forearm, both kind of have this shape going on, which is sort of like a straight side with a bean. Straight side with a bean. And actually a lot of the human body kind of looks like this. Like this is sort of what the back of the leg looks like. Like I could put a butt cheek up here. This could be somebody on their knees. Okay? So, I mean, to be honest, when you really look at a person, they're not going to have like perfectly straight areas on their body. But in drawing, you want that rhythm of like straight to curve everywhere. So it feels like more fluid and organic. Okay, so we've basically got him. Looking real sharp. And I'm going to go over his face real quick. I'm going to go over that in a different color. I might change it. I don't know. We'll see. Well, the main thing I want to go over is the eye. So I'm actually going to trace your eye. Remember to draw the entire orbital socket and the entire eyeball underneath, so you have a better idea of like that you're not making like an arbitrary curve and then the eye is really, really big. So doesn't have to be a perfect circle. Okay, so there is our eye. So here is a debate that I've heard come up a few times. So when you look at the human eye, like a real human eyeball, let's pretend this is a real human eyeball, from the side, there's your iris. The pupil would actually sit back here. And I forget what this filament is called that like goes down from like the iris down into the pupil, but that's how it looks. It looks concaved. I'm kind of exaggerating a little bit, but from the side, this is basically what it should look like. However, I don't like that. I think, depending on what your style is, it can look really goony. It can look like their pupil is kind of going back, like it's trying to escape out the back of the head or something. So I prefer to keep my pupils painted on like a doll, like sitting at the front of the eye, and then I use the shine to bring those eyes to life. I don't think you need to go all super realsies with that part of the anatomy, because the eyes on a simple character, and when I say simple I mean just like line art, you know, like a cartoony not real human anatomy character. I think if you go like too real, like, you know, drawing every little thing about the human anatomy, you lose that character. Like that character is not who they are anymore, you know, and they become like all wonky in my opinion. So I think pick and choose your battles in the anatomy that you're learning. Oh, and you should probably erase some of that. It was just to give me an idea. I think if I had my way, I would make the top of the head even higher. This kind of looks like a friend of mine. This sort of looks like a guy I know. Well, technically a friend of my husband, who I'd like to consider a friend of mine. But yeah, he sort of looks like a friend of ours. But anyway, so I would just make the head a little higher. So that, you know, he's got more head. He's got a bigger head. That head still doesn't feel right. I'll come back to it. You know, I've been kind of gone all weekend, haven't been drawing much. So that's my story. I actually, I went to a convention, trying to get my convention legs back together, and but before that, I did a whole bunch of work for Seamus for PS4 games and Xbox One games, and I was pooped, and I didn't want to draw anymore for a while. But I went to a con over the weekend. It was really nice. Got to meet some other people in webcomics, which is fun. I think his head's too big, like as a whole. I think that's what's turning me off because I keep going, that's just something's a little off. All right, let's try making it smaller. I already like that. Great. Perf. Moving on. So now I'm gonna draw her, the girl who's holding him. I'm just gonna make this a little lighter here, and let's do that. I don't know. Is that color okay? Can you guys see this color? I really need to pick a second color to use with Redline Tuesday and stick to it because I always need a second color besides red and then I don't have it. Okay, so I'm gonna turn that off for now just so I can get a better lay of the land, and then I'll sort of finagle their anatomy together at the end. This is not actually how I would draw something. I just want to make that clear. Normally what I'd do, like if I was going to have two characters holding each other, I would like, you know, rough it out from the get-go of them like holding each other and then like build the two characters together. Rather than working on them separately. The reason I'm working on them separately here is because this is not my drawing and I didn't start it, but I'm gonna finish it. So, here's your spine. There it is. So we are going to follow, well, I'm trying to think what I should do here first. So we want to follow this midline down. Like that. That'll be our little center line on the back there. And then from the nape of the neck, so like around where the hairline is, you have these connecting muscles that run to the front and then form the clavicle on the other side. Well, they don't form the clavicle, but they attach to the clavicle area, so it's kind of a good thing to remember where your clavicle is sitting on the front. So we got that. Okay, so in the description I had of these two characters, this female character is really supposed to be like arching her back to meet this other character at chest level. She's about as tall as he is. So, okay. I'm going to straighten her back as much as I can from this angle, and then yeah, I think that'll be okay. You already started doing it, but just to make it a little more, to make it look like she's bending over more, she has sort of like a corset or some kind of a binder like on her middle area. So just sort of increase the pinch here to help like really make it look like she's, you know, like bending over more, like there's some flexing going on in her front, like her abs and everything. So that should help with that. And then let's draw her head. So this is a mistake I used to make all the time, is ears don't really look like ears from this angle. Ears kind of look like a cup or like a bowl with a lip. So let me see if I can draw this a little better. Actually, it kind of looks like a poop. It's not great. So yeah, ears from the side are sort of like these little twisted mangled beans with a cup. Everything is a bean, and it's either straight or not straight or twisted. And then from behind, you're just turning that even further to see like the back, like that. This is kind of somewhere in between these two. I tend to draw my ears a little more just like this, but I know some people like really get into it and draw all the little, you know, curves and protuberances and all the little ear things. I don't do that. I mean, it's up to like how you want to draw their ears, but yes, those are all the little, they kind of look like wontons a little bit. Little ear wontons. And actually, this is probably sitting too far back, so let's just scooch it up a little. Scoochy, scoochy. So her shoulder blades are going to be like right in here. I don't know how much you want to like see them or, you know, but they'd be about there. And I don't really have any great tips on drawing shoulder blades, just that because I don't draw them that often, to be perfectly honest. So let's draw our back. There's the neck. The skull is, you know, up here somewhere. Somewhere 3 miles away. So shoulder blades kind of look like this. They have like a little point. And for some reason when humans bring their arms up, look at his little arms! These are going to be his little arms. These two little sides here sort of like rotate down and together. So these things slide all the fuck around on your back, and all kinds of tissues and muscles and stuff connects to them. And like I said, I'm not like some champion of shoulder blade drawing, so to get a better idea, go look at pictures of bodybuilders, like look at their backs, and you can really see that, like, or like really skinny people. Just go Google and type like skinny people back, you know, and like backshoot back, and you can see the shoulder blades like rocking up and down, kind of like jazz hands, like into each other. Like I said, I don't really have any great tips for drawing them, but generally I kind of just sort of have them swoop in and connect to this muscle here. That's not technically anatomically correct, but for our purposes in drawing, this gives you an idea of about where they would be. So it's my little rant on the shoulder blade meats. Okay. Now I just have this feeling I'm going to need to make her head a teeny. I kind of want to make her head a little smaller. I could be totally wrong here, though. His is definitely not how it should be. I'm gonna go in here and smack everybody. There. Oh my goodness. It was really obvious, and I don't know why I hadn't fixed it sooner. My bad. Oh, another thing I like to do is just to like make a little hint of an eyebrow on that side. Nothing, just like a little eek. And usually it's black and part of the line work. But just to show, like, and also an eyelash or something, just to show, like, hey, there's another side to his head over there. So this character here, the one in the red, he's got like a jacket draped over him that I'm just gonna like really roughly. Oh girl, why'd that do that? Something like that. Yeah. So you wouldn't actually see like pretty much all of this, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of like what's being covered up and everything. Also, she's kind of like turned towards us when I think she would more or less be turned in more. I'm not gonna like change that because I don't, you know, that's not my place to come in and be like, well, I'm gonna completely rotate this character all over the damn place. So I'm not gonna touch that, but just saying, something to think about. And also, it would be nice if there was like like her fist maybe grabbing onto his jacket, like holding him, and then like maybe you could see like his other hand over here. I'm just kind of roughing it in, but like he's like whoa, 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 you know, like he's like so shocked. So just some like little things to think about there, but I like this drawing. It's cute. It's filled with sweetness, and kisses, and I like it. Okay, so let's thank Lunar Epsilon, whose name I almost called Luna Repsilon at tumblr.com. And if you look at their page, up in the top left side, I think it's like the first thing in their menu, they'll have a link to their art blog. I just linked this one because that's what they gave me, and huzzah. But anyway, cool beans. I like it. I like it. So I will see you guys later, okay?